It happened about 10 years ago. I grew up in a modest house. Nothing fancy, just big enough for my family of four. For most of my childhood, I shared a small bedroom with my older brother. Two twin beds, two dressers, two closets. We didn't even have space for a desk. It wasn't cramped, but it wasn't exactly comfortable either. When my brother went away to college, I finally claimed the extra space. I moved his bed out, set up a desk, and turned the room into my own little sanctuary. It was perfect, at least for a while. Fast forward a few years, I graduated, got a job in the city, and moved back into my parents' house to save money. But by then, my brother had also returned and reclaimed our old bedroom. I had no choice but to move into the upstairs guest room, a smaller space tucked away at the corner of the house, right next to my dad's office. The room was private and quiet most of the time, but it sat directly above the garage. Every time someone opened the garage door, the whole floor would rumble for 10 seconds. I got used to it over time, until one night when that sound nearly stopped my heart. It was a Friday evening around 11:30 p.m. I was home alone. My parents were away for the weekend at our shore house, and my brother was out of town for work. I was lying in bed reading a book when I heard it. The deep, mechanical growl of the garage door opening, followed by the familiar vibrations under my feet. At first, I didn't think much of it, but then it hit me. Nobody was supposed to be home. I froze. My parents had told me they wouldn't be back until Sunday night, and my brother wasn't returning until the next afternoon. I grabbed my phone and slowly crept toward the window overlooking the driveway. The garage door was open, but there was no car. My chest tightened as I reached into the closet and pulled out an old baseball bat. Every sound in the house felt amplified. The hum of the AC, the creak of the floorboards, even my own breathing. I tried to convince myself there had to be a logical explanation. Maybe the door malfunctioned. Maybe my parents came back unexpectedly. But then I heard voices, faint, muffled, coming from the other side of the house where all the bedrooms were. There were at least two of them. I dialed 911, whispering my address, telling the operator someone had broken in. She told me to hide and stay quiet until officers arrived, but adrenaline had taken over. Against her advice, I crept down the hallway, clutching the bat so tightly my knuckles turned white. The closer I got to my parents' bedroom, the clearer the sounds became. Drawers opening, belongings being shuffled around. They were searching for something. I took a deep breath, then charged in, yelling at the top of my lungs. Two men stood frozen in my mom's closet, their eyes wide with shock. The first one lunged toward me, but I swung the bat and cracked it against his leg. He stumbled and fell with a groan. The second man tackled me hard, slamming me to the ground. He was stronger than me, much stronger. Within seconds, he had wrestled the bat from my hands and wrapped his fingers around my throat. I kicked and clawed, gasping for air, when I saw the first guy crawling toward us, holding a knife. In that moment, I was sure I was going to die. Then, in the distance, I heard sirens. The man choking me hesitated. The knife wielder glanced at the open window. Within seconds, both men bolted, disappearing into the night. I woke up minutes later to a police officer shaking me gently. They'd arrived just in time to scare the intruders off. My head throbbed, but I was alive. Here's the part that still chills me to this day. The only way to open our garage was through a small wireless button in my car, a button only my dad had programmed. And I never locked my car when it was in the driveway. Whoever broke in that night knew exactly how to get inside. They knew where the button was. They knew my parents would be gone. They knew my brother was out of town. The police never caught them. And to this day, I still can't shake the feeling that whoever it was, they weren't strangers. This one happened 6 months ago, and I'm still shaken to my core. I'd recently moved back to my hometown to care for my aging mother. She lives about 20 minutes away, and I'd found a small duplex close enough to get to her quickly if needed, but far enough to still have my own space. One night, around 9 p.m., I was relaxing on the couch when my phone rang. It was a local number I didn't recognize. "Hello?" I answered cautiously. The woman on the other end introduced herself as a nurse from the local hospital. My heart sank immediately. She told me my mother had fallen, hit her head, and was asking for me. Panic set in instantly. The nurse knew my mother's full name, her address, even details about her recent hip replacement surgery. I didn't question her for a second. I grabbed my keys and raced out of the house, leaving the door unlocked in my rush. When I arrived at the ER, breathless and frantic, I ran to the reception desk. But they had no record of my mother. I insisted there had to be some mistake. I had literally just gotten a call from one of their nurses, but the receptionist checked again, then suggested I call my mom directly. So I did. She answered immediately, calm, confused, perfectly fine. That's when it hit me. The call had been fake. Someone had lured me out of my house. I drove home as fast as I could. At first glance, nothing seemed out of place. The door was still shut, just like I'd left it. But the moment I stepped inside, I knew I'd been robbed. The TV, my laptop, my jewelry, gone. But here's the part that makes my skin crawl. They'd taken strange things too. Family photos were missing from their frames. My prescription bottles were emptied. Documents were gone. And I can't stop thinking about this. Whoever did this didn't just want valuables. They wanted information. The police agreed. Whoever set me up knew intimate details about my life, things only a close friend or relative would know. Weeks passed and nothing else happened. But I can't shake the feeling I'm being watched. I bought cameras, changed my locks, set up alarms. But sometimes, late at night, I still catch myself staring at my phone, waiting for it to ring again. Because deep down, I know this isn't over.